And now I'm sitting here with Lisa Fiddermon. Lisa is the coordinator at Pastoral Ministries.
Yes.
Okay, and you're fairly new.
I am fairly new. This is my 5th week.
Oh, good.
Here at Green Spring. Before I came to Green Spring, I was a pastor for 10 years in the Free Methodist Church.
Okay.
And I'm also a business owner. I do coaching and counseling on the side in addition to my work here. And I love the Pastoral Ministries coordinator position and the people and the staff.
And you were replacing Lois
Calloway.
Lois Calloway,
yes.
Yeah. Who's still with us at Green Spring, but she's in a different department.
Right,
yeah.
right. She's over in home care now.
Yeah. And she's located down in Forest View, is it?
She
or
is
she over Garden? Where is she?
She's in Village Square. But,
okay, so she's either in Connor Terrace or Forest View down in those offices.
Right,
yeah.
She's in Residential Life, near the Residential Life office on the T level.
Okay, so you're fairly new as the coordinator. And tell me why I would need your services.
Well, whenever someone needs to use the chapel for memorial services or any type of service or event to take place in the chapel. As a matter of fact, we have quite a few things that we're looking forward to sharing with you today.
Good, good. I know that when we want to reserve a room for anything else, we speak to the community resource people. But if it's to reserve the chapel, we speak to you.
Correct.
To reserve that space. Okay.
Right, for our office. Ingrid actually is the administrative assistant who does a fabulous job.
Yes, I'm glad she's still here.
Yeah,
yes.
We're still here.
All right. And so what's new that you would like to share with us?
Okay, well, today at 1 o'clock, we will have afternoon at the movies. Our featured presentation is A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. And this is the story, the depiction of Mr. Rogers in the neighborhood. And so that will be at the Village Square Theater, and it's an hour and 49 minutes. So I'm going to make sure that I put that in. The last time I didn't say that it was an hour and 49 minutes, and people needed to know how long this commitment is for this movie. All right, and tomorrow is our annual memorial service, which will be in the chapel, and it's at 1:30 p.m.
Now, those who don't know what the memorial service is, why don't we explain that?
All right.
It is honoring those who passed away in the year 2019.
Correct.
And there's a special service that's done, and sometimes there's recognition of any family member or a personal friend of the persons who died. The names are all read off, are they not?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I plan to go to that tomorrow.
Yeah.
I had a special friend that died last year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So yeah. So anyway, that's tomorrow.
So that is tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. And then on Thursday of this week, we have Faith, Grief, and Loss in the side chapel, and that starts at 11 a.m. And all Fridays in Lent, starting at 9:30, there will be Stations of the Cross prior to the Mass Chapel on Fridays. On Thursday, March 12th at 10 a.m., a discussion on women in the Bible. The guest speaker is Rabbi Bruce Aft, and that will also take place in the chapel. And then on Monday, March 30th at 7 p.m., there will be an Easter cantata with musicians from Faith Church of Kingstown, and that will be at 7 o'clock on March 30th.
What day of the week is that?
That's a Monday.
Yeah. Okay.
And there is one more. Green Spring Fellowship is having Reverend Dr. Mark Olson to come and give a teaching on the introduction to the New Testament book of Romans. Okay. He actually wrote a book on the book of Romans, and he served as the president of the John Leland Center for theological studies for about 10 years.
And when is he coming?
He's coming on Mondays, the 9th, the 16th, and the 23rd, the next 3 Mondays.
The next 3 Mondays.
The next 3 Mondays at 7 o'clock in the chapel.
Okay. All right. Okay, great. So that's your March, pretty much.
That's all of March.
Taken up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, all right, and so, is Easter in March?
Easter is in April.
It's in April,
It's in
isn't it?
April
Yeah.
this year.
Okay. So, what do you know anything that's coming up for that?
Oh yeah, we have quite a few things that will be happening we have Stations of the Cross. There will also be there will be a Monday, Thursday, there's a play given by the Village Church. There are going to be multiple things that will be going on in the chapel for the
We'll
the
get
whole,
advertisement of those things, of course, as April begins.
Right.
Let me ask you, you mentioned that you had been a pastor. Are you doing any of the services at the chapel?
No, actually
That's
we have...
not part of the job.
No,
Okay.
actually we have a fantastic staff. Jim Bell, Reverend Jim Bell is the pastor of Village Church.
Of course.
And then there's Reverend Jeannie Hennepin, who is the pastor of Green Spring Fellowship. We have Annie Smith, who's a chaplain over in Garden Ridge.
Yeah.
And then we have 3 fantastic administrative assistants that help us. And we work together as a great team.
Well, it's a very active community.
Yes, it is.
Both the actual administrative side of it, as well as Green Spring. There's numbers of faith groups that have reason to use the chapel. And of course, unfortunately, for many of our memorial services and stuff.
Yes.
I used it at the beginning of this year for a music program put on by my children that they were toasting and my friends were roasting my life, and it was lovely. And
nice.
There's another reason to use the chapel. I mean, it isn't all for religious or that kind of thing. Yeah. So, and you're still located where they always have been.
Well, there's in Canterbury Square,
Right.
Which is in Hunter's Crossing on the T level. We're right where the Department of Philanthropy is.
Yep, you can do both at the same time.
Do both at the same time.
Well, you know what? I think I've been handed a little note. And the note says that I should read something, but that's at the end, right, everybody? Okay, I won't worry about that right now. All right. Okay. So I'm happy you're here. And do you have family in the area, or have you always been in this area?
Well, originally I started out in Long Island, Westbury, New York, with my parents. I'm the youngest of 3 children, and then I was raised by my grandparents in Suffolk, Virginia, which is I don't know if you're familiar.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Down the road. Yeah.
Yeah. So from there I attended Hampton University. Once I got a job working after college, my older sister, she says, well, come on up to the DC area, you know. So I came up to the DC area and I loved it. I've been here ever since.
Okay, okay. Well, it does help to have a family member in the area.
It does, it does. And I do have a husband also. We've been married for 23 years this year, and I have a 17-year-old son and a 19-year-old daughter.
Okay. Well, now we know more about you than maybe we thought we did. So listen, thank you so much, Lisa, for coming to chat with us and bring us up to date. Now, don't forget that movie today is 1 o'clock.
Yes.
And it's an hour and 49 minutes.
Yes.
So that's a good movie, actually.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.